Hey everybody, Jeffrey Guterman for your Sunday update on the Strat-O-Matic 1969 replay. And in this broadcast, what I'm going to do is I'm going to update the standings in real time and the leaders, and then post them. And then I'm going to go through all the games this past date, August 31. It's the last month of, last date of the month of August in our 1969 replay. And we're going to do that. And then we'll just take a look and relax and look at the standings and leaders in a very leisurely manner. Let me start by updating this last game we played, and I'm showing you in real time exactly how I do this. I have a file down here called SOM, right here, a folder. We open that up, and we open up our 1969 replay here, right here. And we'll go right up here to our standings. As you'll see, we have 1,579 games played. We just finished our 1,580th game, and we'll just enter this here as Oakland winning. It was a crazy game. It's 1,580 now. Oakland won it, 72 wins. And Washington lost. And we'll add all these up. And the way I do it, I take this and I just go in the wins for each league and then total them. It should be 787 when we get done. And we go with the losses, and it should be the same. And then we add up both, and that should be how many games we have. So let's just add the wins here. 169, 138. It's just a double check. 111, 163, 111. Sometimes I make a mistake. 4095. That should be 787. It is. Mathematics does not ever disappoint. And we do the losses. 8096. 126, 154, 98, 130, 146, 167, should be 787, and it is. 787 plus 793, that's 1580. And that's exactly what our total is. So our standings are right. We now want to, at the end of every game, every date of games, we want to double check our games behind, just to make sure they're right. That's 2, 7, 3.5. Most of the time I can do it without using this thing, but I use it sometimes just in case. That's 5, 9, 14. Wait a minute. That's 5 and 11. That's 18. That should be 9 games. Let me add it. 71, that's 5. Plus 54, 64, 65. Oh, it's 16. Okay, so that's going to be 8. 10, 20, 10 games. 20, 44, it's 22. 26, 26. It takes a little time, but it's worth it. You don't want any surprises. 5, 9, that's 4.5. 15 and 13 is 14. 81, that's 16. 29 is right. 64, 74. 17 plus 27, 8, 9, 31 is correct. They're updated every game, so they should be right. It's 33, and this should be 31. That's correct. So the NL is correct. We can save it here on the iMac. Just save it like that. And we go to our page here. We'll go to the community, and it's ready to post. I'll just upload that image. And post it. And there it is. Now let's go to the rename that one. That way, when we keep saving them, whoops, it'll be okay. Let's go back to our AL. That was pretty easy for the NL. It's gonna be 15, 25, my Lord. 35, 637, whoops. That should be a 5. That's a real typo. Red Sox are only 2 behind. That's 27, 37, 47, 51. That's correct. That's 29. 47, 57, 67, 28, That's correct. 37, 67, 72. That's 37 and 35 is 36. 90. That's 46. 46 and 45 is 45.5. And in the West, they're usually right. Sometimes I find one of them off. That's 19 and that's 18. 6, 7, 9, 89, 32 and 28. 39 and 50, and 39 and 38 is correct. 68, 78, 88, 89, 91, 43 and 42 and 47, 50, 60, 70, 80, 78, 9, 91, 44 and 45 is correct. So that is correct. We'll save that one now. Whoops. And we will upload this as 69 AL standings. There it is. There it is. And I'll rename that number 2. Then for the leaders, it's much easier. Sometimes I miss one. Doesn't really bother me, but these I'm pretty confident these are updated. So I'll just copy this and upload it. It's the matter of making sure that where the main place where they're saved, like here, that it's updated on the leaders. And we'll put that up here, NL. Upload that image. There it is. And we will rename this one A. Or 3. We'll rename it 3. And then we go to the AL leaders. With Hot Dog Jackson leading with 47 home runs. This is a process that I go through on my own ordinarily, but I thought I would share it with you today. It's just the end of the month and whatever. There it is. I didn't have it say AL leaders, but that doesn't matter. Now, I'm not even going to post it to X. I am so disgusted with X. I don't even care anymore. Let's go take a look at our leaders and see what we got going here. In the National League East, the Pirates are holding on to a 3 1/2 game lead. The Cubs are within 8 games. And by the way, the Cardinals are 3.5 out. They've won 11 in a row. The Cubs are 8 out. And the Mets, who've won 5 in a row, are now 10 games out. Montreal and Philly take up the rears of the AL East. So that's a bit of a race going on. In the West, Atlanta has increased their lead to 4.5. San Francisco was tied with them about 5-7 games ago. They've lost 6 in a row, and that's cost them. Houston, meanwhile, they are 66-66. They were 81-81 in real world. They're 14 out, a bit far. And Cincinnati's a disappointment, 14.5 out. They're 1 game under. The Dodgers are a disappointment, 15.5 out. They are 3 games under. And of course, San Diego, the expansion team, takes up the rears. As far as NL leaders go, Stretch McCovey has been very hot lately, and he now has 44 home runs. Stargell with 34, Bonds with 32, Aaron 29, he's underperforming. Wynn has 27, Tolan 25, he's been at that number for a while. Orlando with 23, Tony Perez with 23, Santo with 23, and Ernie Banks with 21. As far as wins go, Juan Marichal leads all of Major League Baseball. He has 22 wins. There is a bunch of people who have a good chance of winning 20 this season. Bill Hands for the Cubs has 19. So does Ken Holtzman, has 16. So they have a chance. Looking back at Marichal with 22, Gaylord has 18. He has a chance, so they have a chance of having 2 20-game winners there. Necro has 19, and Reed has 17 for Atlanta. They have a chance of having a couple 20-game winners. And Doc Ellis has 16. He's really been something. No other Pirates, even though they're leading the division, because they have a sort of a well-rounded pitching staff, like a 4 or 5-man rotation. Also in there is Claude Osteen with 19 wins, despite the Dodgers having a problem. So there's the NL. Now in the AL East, in the AL for both divisions, it's blowaway time. Orioles are just amazing. They've won 97 already. That's 120, 134. They have 28 games. I mean, if they play 500 baseball, 120, 134, in 28 games, they'll win 111 games. Okay? They've won 8 in a row. I mean, there's a chance they can win 120. That's a bit of a long shot. But there's a chance they could break the all-time record. I'd have to go check to which it is. If it was Seattle one year, 118 or something. I don't know. I'd have to check. Detroit is faltering just a tad. They've lost 2 in a row. And Boston on their tail, 2 games behind Detroit. Washington, who lost a tough one today, they're 3 games over 500. That's just about on pace. The Yankees are a disappointment. They're 12 games under 500, underperforming, and Cleveland takes up the rears. In the American League West, Minnesota's running away with it. Not quite as great a record as Baltimore with 97 wins, but Minnesota has 31 games left. And if they win 16 of them, they all they have to do is win 9 of them out of 30 to hit 100. So they're on their way to 100. Oakland runner in the West. They're 14 games over 500, but a large 18.5 out. And Oakland is just about where Detroit is. They're 1 game in the loss column ahead of them. Both second place teams. California has faltered. They were close to 500 for a while, but now they have fallen 9 games under 500, 30 games behind. They've lost 4 in a row. Chicago is a huge disappointment. 26 games below 500, and that's with winning 2 in a row. KC and Seattle take up the rears. In the leaders section, Hot Dog Jackson leads all of Major League Baseball with 47 wins. Home runs, I'm sorry, home runs. Howard has 44, that's the same that Covey has. Killebrew with 38, Rico with 35, and Yaz with 35, teammates. Epstein has 33, so you have Jackson and Epstein, just like in real world. Boog Powell with 33, Frank Robinson with 31, Willie Horton with 34 for Detroit. As far as wins go, Cuellar, I think it was this date, or maybe the date before, became the first pitcher to win 20. And you look at the Baltimore staff, they have a chance for 3 20-game winners, which they didn't have in real world. McNally needs 1 more, and Palmer needs to win 4 in September. Cott has 7, Boswell has 19, Cott has 17, and Perry has 16 for Minnesota. So they have a chance for 2 or 3 20-game winners. Only Boswell won 20 in real world. Hey, thank you, Kelly. Coleman with 16 for Washington. McLean has won 16. He won 23 in real world. Odom and Hunter for Oakland. Odom has 15, Hunter has 13, and Andrew Messersmith with 14 for the season. So that just about rounds that out. Why don't we take a look at the games of this past week? And we'll start with the first and then move on up to today's final game. And it's interesting to look at these because you can decide, do I remember these or not? First of all, you had the first game, and I always put first there. I have Swedish meatballs in the oven, by the way. Most of these games, if not all of them, were the final game of a 3-game series, maybe a 2-game series. This was the final of the 3-game series between Atlanta and the Cubs. And Atlanta took it 5-2, taking the series. Necro went all the way, and he got his 19th win. Oh, absolutely, Charles. Absolutely. Holtzman didn't pitch too badly, but he was knocked out probably due to fatigue in the seventh, and Aguirre came in to finish it up. The final was 5-2. Santo hit his 23rd home run. The next game was the fourth of a four-game series. I should start writing the dates, the real-world dates that I put these in. I'm trying to remember this game. 9-1. I mean, so vaguely. This is when Cuellar won his 20th. He went all the way, 1 run in 9 innings, struck out 7. Powell hit his 33rd home run. Rettenman knocked 3 runs in. May started, got hit badly. Wilhelm and Fisher finished it up. In the third of a 3-game series between Cleveland and Chicago, the Chicago White Sox beat the Cleveland Tribe 5-4. Wilbur Wood came in for the save, for the win. And Juan Pizarro got the loss. He allowed the 5th run. Home run by Melton, his 19th. He hit 2, actually. No, I'm sorry. Bradford hit a walk-off home run. Now I remember this game. So I remember this. In fact, this game was the game I broadcast, that I first broadcast not live, but on my own, and then uploaded. I remember this. In the St. Louis at Cincinnati, this was the third of a 3-game series. St. Louis took the first 2. Obviously, they've won 11 in a row now after this game, which they won 3-2 in 12 innings. It was 2-2, and then in the top of the 12th, Ricketts came home on a, looks like it's a walk-off. I forgot to put the RBI. Doesn't matter. We don't follow that rule. It was probably Torrey. Gibson got the win, his 15th. Horner got the save. Karl got the loss. And again, I remember it very vaguely, and it's just maybe power of suggestion as to whether I remembered the game. The no-hitter by McNally was on the 30th, by the way. That's why it's not here. In this game, I forgot to put who got the loss here. Sometimes you'll see a few oversights like that. Seattle won it 5-1 over Detroit, taking the series. Brabender got the win. I remember this for Brabender. He pitched very good baseball. I vaguely remember the game, but I certainly remember Brabender going all the way, winning his 7th. He allowed 1 unearned run. Earl Wilson got the loss. He got hit pretty hard in 6 innings. Home run by Comer, his 11th. But again, I remember it very vaguely. In Pittsburgh at Houston, Pittsburgh won it 11-4. Why replay the '69 season? It's one of my favorite of all time. It's just a perfect season. I can't really go into a lot of details of it, but it to me, it's hard to get tired of it. I remember it. It is it is the most memorable, probably, if not one of them in my life. Yeah, for me. the whole Mets thing. And the Mets are doing better now. We went over that already. Mets are now 2 games over 500, only 10 games behind the first place Pirates. In this game, the Bucks won at 11-4, and they ended up taking the series in this rubber game. Walker got the win. He went 12. Blast came in, I remember this, because he pitched in real world. LeMaster got the lost. Home run by Wynn, his 27th. In this game, the Dodgers, again, you can see these are the final games of every series. The Dodgers take the series in the rubber game by beating the Phillies 8-5. Singer went all the way. 3 earned runs, 2 unearned runs. Wise got hit badly and allowed 7 runs in 6 1/3. Raffo came in for him. Home runs by Callison is 14th, Sadakis is 11th, Rojas, I forgot to put it in, I'm sure I answered it. In the rubber game of a 3-game series, Minnesota won it 9-8. I remember this one vaguely. Peranowski got the win, Jarvis the loss. Lots of home runs in this game. Maybe as they get closer, I remember them better. Here was a tough one. I remember this one. KC beat New York in the rubber game of a 3. They beat him 3-2. Butler with the win. Oh yeah, I remember Butler went all the way until he allowed a triple to White to bring in to tie the game, to come within 1 run. And Bergmeyer came in to retire Fernandez. Home run by Rios. I remember it vaguely. I mean, not well, but I remember the home run by Rios. And in fact, I remember this game because we were talking about how that was an outlier. And look how Peterson pitched very good ball right through the remainder of the game. He allowed only 1 more run. This was probably 2 days ago. San Diego beat Montreal 7. Oh yeah, this is a doubleheader. Oh yeah. And I think I played this first thing in the morning yesterday or the day before. It was they split the doubleheader. San Diego took the first one 7-2. Roberts pitched good, decent ball, got the win. Robertson the loss, 7-2. And then Montreal 4-0 on Renko's shutout. I remember that. LeBoy hit his 20th. This game was a doubleheader, and it was played yesterday. I remember this. This went on way too long. The Mets swept the Giants, and the first game, Seaver with the save from McGraw, home runs by Agee, Swoboda, and McCovey. And in the second game, they won at 8-2. McAndrew pitched good ball. And then Taylor came in. And that was a pretty lopsided game. Agee hit another home run. And McCovey hit another home run. And then today, I guess you would call it either late morning, early afternoon, we played this one. And it was 8-7 Oakland, a very, very bizarre game as far as I'm concerned. It was 6-0 Washington, then it was 6-4, then 7-4. And Oakland scored 4 to take it 8-7. Started off pretty well, but he allowed all 8 runs. and got the loss. Kraus got the win, and Roland got the save. So that takes care of that. I'm about a year away, Kelly. Oh, it's a good question, Kelly. I've thought about it, and I've thought about maybe doing, I've thought about various leagues. But you want to know something? I think the best thing for me to do right now, with a year left, is not to start planning, because that's way ahead of things. If anything, what I'd like to do is try some different things when I finish this replay, to try some different things, such as playing the 1911 World Series. I have the cards for that. Maybe do some sort of, I don't know, draft or something. So, no, I don't. But that's about it. Again, here are the standings. The only standings to speak of that really matter. Oh, I appreciate it. Thank you very much, Kelly. Appreciate that. Kind words. This is the only league where there's anything to speak of in terms of pennant races. And now we're going to head into September. It's kind of hard for me to imagine that I have gone this far. It seemed insurmountable as a kid. Oh, I got these beautiful Swedish meatballs going. But I have done it, and now we're in September. Each team has roughly 30, 31, 32 games left. And if you take 1580 and subtract it from 1944, which is the total, it should come to roughly, it's 364 divided by 12 teams. It's about 30 games, so it is pretty accurate, yeah. I try to stay on top of the wins, losses, and all that. You don't want to be off by a game even. And God forbid you should have a team be one game behind and you're not sure if it's an accurate total. So it's not easy to do it. But we continue to play, and we hope for the best. And here's where we use the baseball reference for all the games. And we just scroll. It's very quick to scroll down, as you can see. And I can get to September 1 rather quickly. You see, and there we are. Here are the games. I guess tomorrow I could start with these games, and these are all new series. Pittsburgh and Atlanta. The others don't really mean much. St. Louis at Houston matters. The Mets at the Dodgers matters because of the Mets. Look at that doubleheader, Seattle at Yankee. Boy, is that a snoozer. Philly at San Diego. Montreal at San Francisco matters. And you can see that after that, when we hit September 4th, that's pretty much a travel day for most teams, but you can see now we're having intra-division play again. And that'll take us to the end of the season. East plays East, West plays West. And none of these games really matter much. It's basically an off day. But on September 5th, we pull ahead, we pull in again. And, you know, Pittsburgh at Chicago. Can you imagine if the Cubs sweep? Okay. Braves at Cincinnati, Giants at the Astros, the Mets, doubleheader against the Phillies, and it just goes on and on. So that's about it, folks. I just wanted to give you an update. I'm not going to go on indefinitely with this. I appreciate you all for your coming on to the games and playing them. Stay strong, everybody. And I'll catch you next time.